I will explain 20 points, presented with a cool, strategic approach to help you cultivate a mindset that leads to a more active and appealing life. I will explain step by step all the points in this video. I will explain map your mental terrain. Before you can move forward, understand where you are. Acknowledge your current thought patterns without judgment. Are they focused on scarcity or abundance, action or inaction? This is your starting point. Map your mental terrain. Understanding the landscape of your mind before moving forward. The hidden map within. Every journey begins with a map. Whether you're setting out on a physical adventure, plotting your career path, or working to improve your relationships, a map tells you two critical things: where you are and where you want to go. Most people, when thinking about goals and progress, focus heavily on the latter, where they want to end up. But what many overlook is the importance of the starting point. Imagine trying to navigate to a city without knowing your current location. Even if you have the most detailed roadmap or the most advanced GPS, the destination will remain unreachable unless you understand where you stand right now. The same principle applies to our inner world. Before we can transform, grow, or succeed, we must first map our mental terrain. Mapping your mental terrain is the process of exploring your current thought patterns, emotional habits, and beliefs without judgment. It is a compassionate self-examination, a kind of internal cartography, where you note the valleys of doubt, the mountains of ambition, the rivers of fear, and the plateaus of contentment. This process helps you see clearly whether your mindset is rooted in scarcity or abundance, in action or inaction, in resistance or flow. This is not an exercise in self-criticism. Rather, it is an invitation to observe and acknowledge yourself, to stand still for a moment in your life's journey and say, "This is where I am. This is my ground. From here, I can decide where to go next." First point why mapping the mind matters. Too often, we are consumed with chasing goals. We want to lose weight, build wealth, find love, or achieve recognition. But without awareness of the mental terrain from which we operate, we risk walking in circles. For instance, someone who wants financial abundance but secretly believes money is evil will unconsciously sabotage opportunities. Someone who wants to improve health but sees themselves as lazy and undisciplined may struggle to build consistent habits. Someone who longs for love but carries unresolved wounds may recreate cycles of conflict in relationships. These examples highlight why it's crucial to stop and examine the thoughts and beliefs that form the ground beneath your feet. Without knowing the terrain, your path forward is uncertain. Mapping your mental terrain gives you clarity. You see what's really going on in your mind. Direction. You identify patterns that either support or hinder progress. Empowerment. When you know where you are, you can choose where to go. Compassion. You learn to observe your inner world without harsh judgment. Second point, the practice of observation without judgment. One of the hardest parts of self-reflection is avoiding self-criticism. We are conditioned to judge ourselves for our flaws, compare ourselves to others, and push ourselves with shame-based motivation. But true mapping of your mental terrain requires a gentler approach. Think of yourself as an explorer entering uncharted territory. An explorer does not curse the swamp for being muddy or the desert for being dry. They simply note what they see. Here's a river. Here's a mountain. Here is a barren plain. You can adopt the same mindset. When you notice self-limiting thoughts, resist labeling them as bad. Instead, simply acknowledge, "I notice scarcity thinking here," or "I notice resistance to action." This simple act of observation begins to loosen the grip of unconscious patterns. Practical steps for non-judgmental observation. Journaling. Write your thoughts freely without censoring. Afterward, read them back as if they belong to someone else. Mindfulness meditation. Spend 10 minutes observing your thoughts as they pass, labeling them thinking, planning, worrying, without attaching stories. Body awareness. Notice how your body feels when certain thoughts arise. Do scarcity thoughts bring tension? Do abundant thoughts bring lightness? Through these practices, you begin to develop what psychologists call metacognition, the ability to think about your thinking. This skill is key to mapping your mental terrain. Third point, scarcity versus abundance mindsets. A central feature of your mental terrain is the spectrum between scarcity and abundance. Scarcity mindset is a belief that there is never enough money, love, success, opportunities. People with this mindset constantly compare themselves to others, fear loss, and operate from survival mode. Thoughts often sound like, oh, if someone else wins, I lose. Oh, there's not enough to go around. Oh, I can't risk failing. Abundance mindset is a belief that opportunities, love, and resources are plentiful. It doesn't mean ignoring reality, but it recognizes that possibilities are infinite. People with this mindset collaborate, celebrate others' successes, and take risks with faith. Thoughts often sound like, oh, there's room for everyone to succeed. Oh, failure is feedback, not the end. Oh, I can always learn, create, and grow. Mapping your terrain means honestly asking, do my thoughts lean more towards scarcity or abundance? You may find that different areas of life reveal different mindsets. You might feel abundant in friendships, but scarce in finances. That's okay. Mapping is about noticing, not fixing right away. For point, action versus inaction. Another dimension of your mental terrain is your relationship with action. Action-oriented terrain. These individuals take steps forward, even if small. They believe progress is possible and worth attempting. They may not always succeed, but they keep moving. Their inner dialogue sounds like, oh, let's try and see what happens. Oh, one step at a time. Oh, even small progress counts. In action-oriented terrain, these individuals get stuck in overthinking, fear, or procrastination. They may have good ideas, but rarely execute them. Their inner dialogue often includes, oh, what if I fail? Oh, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, I need to wait until everything is perfect. Again, mapping is not about judgment. If you find yourself in inaction, simply acknowledge, I am standing in the valley of hesitation. This awareness itself begins to shift energy. 5. Best points to map your mental terrain. To make this process practical, here are some points. 1. Thought audit. Oh, for 1 week, carry a notebook or use your phone to jot down recurring thoughts. At the end of the week, categorize them as scarcity/abundance or action/inaction. 2. Mind map exercise. Oh, draw a map with me in the center. Create branches for areas of life: career, relationships, health, finances, creativity. Under each, write your dominant thoughts. 3. Pattern recognition. Oh, look for recurring phrases like, I can't, I'm not enough, someday. These are signposts on your terrain. 4. Visualization. Oh, imagine your mental terrain as an actual landscape. Where are the cliffs of fear, the rivers of creativity, the forests of confusion? This can make your inner world more tangible. 6 points. The power of acceptance. One of the most transformative aspects of mapping your mental terrain is learning acceptance. You might discover uncomfortable truths like envy, fear, or hopelessness. Instead of fighting them, try welcoming them. For example, say to yourself, I notice envy. I accept this as part of my terrain right now. Acceptance doesn't mean staying stuck. It means acknowledging reality before change can occur. Ironically, the more you accept, the easier it becomes to shift. 7 points. From map to movement. Once you've mapped your terrain, you have the clarity to move forward. Like a travel with a compass, you can chart new routes. If you notice scarcity thoughts, you can consciously practice gratitude and generosity. If you notice an action, you can set micro goals to build momentum. If you notice fear, you can practice courage through small risks. Your map becomes a guide, reminding you where the pitfalls lie and where the open roads lead. Over time, as you revisit the map, you will notice changes. The valleys of doubt shrink, the rivers of confidence expand. Now this is your starting point. The journey of self-growth is not about leaping blindly toward a destination. It begins with a pause, with a courageous acknowledgement of where you are. By mapping your mental terrain, you create the foundation for lasting transformation. So ask yourself today, am I thinking from scarcity or abundance? Am I living in action or inaction? What other landscapes exist in my mind? Fear, hope, resilience, or despair? Wherever you are, accept it. This is not a flaw. This is your starting point. From here, all things are possible. Remember, a map is not meant to trap you. It is meant to guide you. And once you know your mental terrain, the path forward becomes clearer than ever. We started this journey by talking about a cool story, but the coolest story you can ever tell is your own. It's the one you write with your daily choices, your small acts of courage, and the powerful shift in your attitude. So now the journey is yours. Remember, an active life isn't just about what you do. It's about how you see it. Your attitude is a master key to unlocking a more vibrant and attractive lifestyle. Now it's time to put that key to use. Let's make this your turning point. If you found this video helpful, give it a like to help us reach more people who need this message. Subscribe so you don't miss our next video on Mention Next Video's topic. And for today's mission, drop a comment with the word attitude once you've committed to a new positive habit this week. I'll be in the comments cheering you on. Thanks for watching. And remember, the choice to be active starts with your mindset.